Welcome back, and we are hoping you turn the page with Nicole and I this afternoon. We're in for a Studio 10 book club, and we're going to talk about what books we are diving into this summer. So Nicole, tell me, what do we have here?
All right, so I try to read at least one book a month, and so I have a little bit more to read in the next couple days, but I'm reading Ghosts. So what I really like is I'm a big romantic comedy reader, but those can be really predictable, but this has a real take on modern relationships. It's about a woman, Nina, who isn't bothered that she's single because she's great friends, great family, and you know, great job. But she finally downloads an app, and it actually goes well, and she falls in love. But then he ghosts her, hence Ghosts, the title. And so now she's kind of forced to confront everything that she's been trying to ignore, like her father's dementia, her failing book idea that she thought was good. So I really like this book because it's relatable. There's some parts that, like, you know, I'm on my own dating journey too. So I'm like, oh, I can relate to this. But I also have no idea where it's going. So I'm excited to know what happens. But I picked a quote because it had an idea with like food. So you can read it there. But basically she's trying to figure out how food and memory have a link. Because it's going to help her with her dad's dementia. So definitely check it out, and I'll let you know how it goes, but I like it. But what about you? What are you reading? A memoir,
Before we get into what I'm reading, 10 out of 10 book review, okay? I think you should do that on the side, because that made me want to read Ghosts. I really like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the book that I'm reading right here is called We're Gonna Need More Wine by Gabrielle Union. I think I've mentioned this to you guys before. One of my friends, she and I are long distance, so we have like our weekly book club every week where we stay in touch and we talk about a chapter or two in the book. So when I tell you the title says it itself, we really are going to need more wine. And right now there's a quote that I just read for last night. But of course, I've always been a big fan of Gabrielle Union's work. But when I read more about her life and everything it is behind the scenes, you know, I fell in love with her more. And honestly, this book really makes you feel like you're just talking to your girlfriends at a sleepover. Okay,
that's so nice.
It really does. I think it's the way, the language. I'm really into like how she tells the story.
Okay.
And I really like that. And she really highlights a lot of her early struggles in her career starting out in Hollywood. So she talks, you know, there's some trigger warnings, but she does talk a lot about her sexual assault and how awful that was. And that was before she was famous. And that actually made headlines in Nevada when where she was born. On top of that, she talked about her divorce to a football player that she had. She actually dated basketball coach Jason Kidd.
What?
Yeah, and I forgot what team he coaches for, but I was like, wait a minute, isn't that the same Jason Kidd? Yeah, you know, now that I'm into the sports.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Sports ball.
So I was like, oh, crazy. They knew each other way back when they were in high school. But she talks about the good times in her life, and she talks about the bad times, even though it doesn't always make her look the best. When she said, hey, I really thought badly about Ryan Destiny, who was a great actress. So that quote actually up there, she was talking about how it's so hard for women who are older in Hollywood to mentor the next generation of girls because you're afraid they're going to take your spot. But she's saying, no, when we know each other's story, when we all help each other, then we're making more opportunities for one another. So genuinely, it gets better and better as you keep going. Definitely recommend
I love
you read.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, I'm gonna have to borrow that next.
I'm gonna borrow that one too.
Yeah, because it's something. It's good to split up some memoirs and the romance and all that kind of stuff.
And then see if we resonate with the same parts too about that.
Yeah.
So love it, love it. But of course, there's more Studio 10 to come. It's now.